Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to be here again. Thank you to SAFETY4SEA for inviting me again in Limassol. I'm looking forward for some longer trips in the future, but it's okay. I'm happy to be here. It is a pleasure, of course, to talk about this subject because of my life at sea, because of my job, which has been always very much linked to seafarers. I started my career as a seafarer, been 13 years at sea, I think, 7 of them as captain on gas carriers, on chemical tankers. Then I moved to as pilot. From pilot, I joined Colombia, starting from marine superintendent, training manager, crewing manager, name it, different positions. And that has given me insights of not only what we think on board, but also what the office thinks, what the clients thinks, what the ship owner thinks. So all that combination of thoughts and understanding, in addition to what the industry thinks. Because let us face it, the industry doesn't have one voice, doesn't have one opinion, which is a very good thing. We all have different understanding about things. I've been hearing the human factor element for years. Since I started working in this business, we all talk about human elements. Everyone has an idea, everyone has an approach. It's all about human. And the most interesting part, I would not say funny, that we always say, okay, that incident happened because of a human factor. Well, I'm happy that this year, maybe since last year, we start to see big changes in the way how we are looking at the human factor. It's no longer about a mistake, because a mistake has many definitions. It's no longer about just the bottom line of an incident investigation is that a human error has happened. Now it's more into what made the human make the mistake. Do we have proper equipment on board? Is everything in order? Do we have proper procedures? Do we have proper interaction between the teams? Good leadership, I heard these comments previously. So all these things will work together to explain why humans have limitations. We all do mistakes. I do mistakes every day. But whenever I do a mistake, or one person in my team, or a person on board does a mistake, my first question is first to myself. Did I do enough to make sure that my team doesn't do mistakes? Did we do enough to make sure that the crew on board do not do mistakes? Obviously, we talk about a mistake which is never something premeditated, planned, intentional. Because anything intentional is no longer a mistake, it's a violation. That's not the topic of today. But we still need to think, even though we go to violations, why someone will violate the rules? Why a chief engineer will violate the rules and pump bilge water overboard? What's his interest? What is he gonna get out of this? A bonus? I doubt. I never heard about it. So what is the problem exactly? We all have easy reasons to convince ourselves why we should go through a red traffic light. It's so easy to convince yourself that you are in a rush, you don't have time, you need to save your child, who's very sick. There is always a reason explaining why we do violations. And these are good excuses, but these are the bottom line of the human element. How can we convince people that whatever reason they come to, which explains to them that they are allowed to do violations, are actually wrong reasons? How can we train people to avoid thinking in this way? The next thing is, how can we train ourselves all together to go out away from the blame culture, from pointing fingers at someone when something happened? The way we react to bad news is very important in our industry. We get mad, we get upset, we hear bad news, somebody was injured on board, a vessel ran aground, there is a collision, there is fire, there is a piracy, there is so many things can happen. How do we react to that? Should we get upset? Should we try to find a scapegoat? The first thing, who did it? Who is behind this? Why they have done this? Going to someone else, why you've done this? Well, first thing is, why did we arrive to this point? And we will find a lot of good answers. I can continue this, but I really wish first to share with you a video which I'm taking from the Maritime Partners in Safety program. I'm sure many of you are fully aware about it. It's a program that started with Shell, and I think the video can tell us a lot more than me talking. Next.
Human performance is about understanding and accepting why, as people, we do what we do, why we do it, and the way we do it. To explore these truths, we will use Todd Conklin's 5 principles of human performance. Error is normal, blame fixes nothing, context drives behavior, learning is vital, how you respond matters.
No.
What's wrong?
I've deleted the report.
Really?
Yep, I think so.
Okay, well, there must be a way to fix this.
Once we accept that we all make mistakes, then we need to ensure we have created an environment that allows our people to make mistakes safely. We call this an error-tolerant system.
There. The system keeps regular backups.
Great. Thank you.
Humans are great at handling operational challenges and solving complex problems. But we are not good with boredom, repetition, or distraction.
Courier.
Too often, our systems are designed in the belief that people will follow procedural steps time after time. We don't. We find shortcuts, because that's the way the human brain works. But what about violations? People making a choice not to follow the rules? More often than not, they are just trying to get the job done. The question is, do we seek to understand why? Or do we simply focus on finding out who did what wrong?
Hi, Lucy. Have a seat.
Traditionally, we see the mistakes people make and the people themselves as problems that need to be fixed.
So you know why you're here?
We investigate incidents to discover who made the mistake. Then we create a plan to stop it from happening again.
So obviously our procedures for buzzing people in need reviewing, and we will also look at retraining you and all of the other receptionists.
We will issue a lessons learned bulletin.
And you'll also get a written warning.
All of this seems like we are taking action, but it's actually just placing blame on the person. Unless we fix the system itself, there is every chance that another person will come along and make the same error in future. We need to look deeply into what causes incidents, rather than who.
One over, right?
Yeah. Oh, brilliant, thank you.
Just get you to sign for it.
Yeah, oh, yes. Okay, thank you very much.
We've had too many accidents, and we nearly got someone killed recently. Now, I don't think we employ stupid or careless people.
As leaders, we set the organizational context for our people.
We will redesign our systems to make it easier for people to do the job safely. We will welcome their insight and input to make sure that the processes and systems we create fit with the reality of the tasks we're asking them to do. We will create error-tolerant systems. Let's not make our people the last line of defense.
Wouldn't it just be easier to fire whoever made the mistake?
Yes, it would.
So what's the problem?
The best way to understand the context for your people is to properly engage with them.
Right, think we know what we're doing? Thank you very much, people. Let's get to it. Hello, I'm Gavin. You're Tom, the head engineer?
Yes.
Right, now apparently you're the man I need to speak to if I want to know what we can improve in this building.
Where do I start?
With what makes your job hardest?
How about this procedure for fixing
Learning is vital. When things go wrong, we must decide if we want to blame and punish or learn and improve. We can't do both.
Apart from the aircon, what other opportunities do you see to make the building systems work better?
We could monitor room usage and save a lot of energy if we were...
Spending time with your teams or crews is vital. It highlights the difference between the reality of the way the work is actually being done versus work as imagined in head office.
Hi, Gavin. We got the accident report.
Oh, right.
Have a look at section 5.
As a leader, at any level of the organization, how you respond to failure or bad news matters.
I should talk to Pavel.
He's in today.
Can't meet him at 2:30 in the canteen.
The canteen.
It's less intimidating than the boardroom.
I'll let him know.
Thanks.
Hold on to that.
Your people are watching you to see how you react to bad news. They then behave accordingly.
Pavel.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Oh, please, sit down.
Oh, thank you.
I was so sorry to hear about the electrical arc incident. How are you doing? Are you really okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine, thank you. I've been discharged from the hospital.
As leaders, it's our humility and curiosity that counts. This is how we create an environment that welcomes feedback and encourages news, good or bad. Human performance is not something done to our people. It is done with our people. Our people, our crews, are not problems to be fixed, but solutions to the challenges we face. The 5 principles don't tell us what to do in relation to safety, but they do help us to learn and be more successful in leading our organizations. We can and must embed a human performance-centered approach to our organizations and put our people at the center of everything we do. This will make our operations safer and our organizations more resilient. So, if someone asks you, what's all this human performance stuff about? Here's a good definition.
Human performance is about understanding how people interact with plant, processes, and each other as part of a system to help manage risk and keep safe.